people believe that it's the central banks pumping in money that is caused interest rates to be lower and value of all assets to be higher.
So does this mean, and because you've already said this, does this mean that you are not worried about the oncoming interest rate hikes in the US in 22, 23, and that would lead to an outflow of money and all of that? You're not worried about that?
By our style, we never worry about macro, just a style of investing. We worried about individual stocks and making sure that the portfolio as a whole is not particularly susceptible to any such macro development, more so than the market is. If market goes down, so be it. We try and go down much less than the market. If market goes up, our team's effort is to go up more than the market. According to us, it is impossible. I think people in media and in general, good investors, smart investors, do a big disservice to the layperson in saying that it is very difficult to time the market. It is not very difficult to time the market. It is impossible to time the market. And there's a huge difference between something being very difficult and something being impossible. It's like a coin flip. You don't say it's very difficult to predict the coin flip. If it's a fair coin, it's impossible to predict the coin flip. It's, can be heads, can be tails, 50-50. And same is true for the market. It is difficult to predict. And hence we don't spend, inordinate amount of time trying to predict which, it's like Dhoni or Kohli, cricket captain. Should they be wasting time, days and hours and days trying to figure out how to win the toss in the next game?
So one of the, one of your the stocks that your team had identified, I think a few years ago, was Intellect Design Arena. And I'm sort of drawing upon the same analogy that you gave about sticking with the investment through the tough times and having the conviction to do that. And suddenly, I think the last 1 year has become the year for that stock, just like Info Edge, just like L&T Infotech. A lot of these companies that you have held on to through some of the tough times. Can you discuss? I mean, the thesis is obvious to us. Can you explain? Give us some examples or some conversations that you had in the last few years when some client was saying, what is this? Why are we holding on to this? Why do we have this?
So certainly our team has done an excellent job in a lot of different sectors and in IT services as well. IT services, there is a general myth that it's an X-growth industry or sector, and that's simply because investors don't distinguish the fact that these companies guide and talk about dollar term growth. When NASSCOM says the industry would grow 7-8%, they're not talking about 7-8% rupee growth, they're talking about 7-8% dollar growth. Generally speaking, rupee dollar 4% depreciation, if you add, that means low double digit to low teens kind of rupee term growth, which very few sectors you can expect to deliver. And that's at the sectoral level. At individual company level, they can be growing at mid-teens, 20s, and so on. So that does, I believe, has provided us great opportunities from a valuation perspective, and several of the names that you mentioned and others, the team has done extremely well to invest in and hold on to them. I must say that it is not like we don't buy and hold for sake of buy and hold. For sake of showing conviction, we don't. Many times we do recognize our mistakes, and after the stock's beaten up. Or
any one example like that?
Can't provide again individual names.
No, but now that you've exited, you can. No?
I'm not sure. Not sure that we should, because it just we don't want to recognize a certain name as a mistake because it doesn't reflect.
Okay.